CIL 650, in association with Tom Lucas Productions, presents Radio Real Estate.
In the middle of us.
And now, here are your hosts, Bill Macklem, Andrea Jack, and Tom Lucas.
And happy tax day, kids.
Oh, beautiful day. Beautiful day.
Lovely. Andrea, happy tax day to you.
Is it happy?
Well, I don't know. Geez, I get my stuff in on time yet? I don't know.
No, we don't have enough time. You got to have it down there today.
Today is the last day, by the way.
Today's last
So midnight tonight, make sure you get your taxes.
And you got to pay the taxes.
If you're lucky enough to have to pay.
That's right, too.
Yeah, because if you don't have a job, then you don't have to pay, right?
Well, but I've heard that there's a lot of jobs available here.
Really? Interesting.
Well, I know we must have something because we are on the transfer payments where either you receive payments from other provinces or have to send out.
Let me guess.
We send out.
They're going to other provinces.
Mostly Quebec.
Mostly Quebec. Why would that be?
Their political structure is such that they deserve it more.
I see. Happy 7th birthday to Addie. She's 7. Can you believe that?
I remember her when she was just a whisper.
I remember when she was just born. We said it's the world's youngest realtor on the show. She was just born. She's like hours old. And now she's 7 and she owns the world.
Aw.
So,
she's a cutie.
So you're going to have a little partner.
I'm going to have to meet her.
She wants to go to ladies' night in.
Oh, what a sweetheart, of course.
7 years old, you don't mind, do you?
No.
All right, happy birthday. So, yeah. Okay, so Billy's here. Billy is the president of Dominion Macklem Mortgage. You guys are doing really well in number 16 of the whole country? That's
we were
this last
month we're ranked number 16 in Canada. So we do a fair amount of volume, but we're very fortunate. We got great clients. They look after us really well. We try to return the favors, and we have a great team. My team is probably one of the best in the country.
You betcha. They're all working hard today.
Yes, they are.
Even on Sunday.
No.
Oh, they're not. Okay, they're at home.
No. Sundays are a day of rest.
I see. You're going to have the mortgage rate update in a couple of minutes. Also, later on in the program, what you going to talk about, Bill?
So I'll give you just a little bit of snippet. So as a mortgage licensed professional, I have to take some courses every 2 years to show that I'm being compliant with the needs and wants of the licensing body from the province of BC. Mm-hmm. And that's the right thing to do. I'm not complaining about that whatsoever. But we're going to talk about is a lack of accountability with other people who are supposed to be even more accountable than we are because they're taking our tax money.
Gotcha.
So we're going to talk about that.
Interesting. Looking forward to that. Andrea, what else is going on the show today?
Our radio real estate home handyman, Finn Jensen, talks about the cost of real estate in British Columbia.
And we talk about land acquisition with Mark Jock of Markroff Homes. He's the CEO of that one, so he must be really smart.
Yeah, because Mark is in charge of all the new home builds on the program. He talks to us every week about that, as you know. And we were talking about, so I want to have this brand new luxury house built, but then I didn't realize if I didn't already have a lot,
what are you going to do?
Where I'm going to put the house, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Can't put it on wheels, and it's not a tiny home.
It's not a tiny home.
That's the first step, because once you find your lot, then everything else is created around the attributes of that.
All right, so we'll talk to Mark shortly. Also, if you missed one of the segments on the program, make sure you go to our website, radiorealestateshow.ca, and download the podcast. I think Monica's going to be on the show, right, Andrea?
Yes, Monica Dina Briga, president of Mummy Maids, joins us, and today she's chatting about some environmentally friendly, made-at-home solutions to help keep your outdoor screens looking new and smelling great.
You know, I could use the help.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
I've seen your screens.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
our cat is now starting to pull it so we can get it out.
The Radio Real Estate News headlines is coming up. I'll be reading the headlines from the stories that made the news this past week. Andrea and Bill will give us their expert opinions. Also, Norm Holmes, the vice president of Pioneer West Acceptance Corporation, will be on the show to talk about TSFAs and how you can put them to work for you.
Our mortgage question of the week is coming up. If you have a question for Bill, please leave it on our website, radiorealestateshow.ca.
It's Radio Real Estate Show, all right, on CIL 650. Smooth and easy. Bill Macklem is here. You're doing very well for yourself. Bill, you're nicely dressed today, too, buddy.
Yes, we're invited to the TD Bank out in White Rock.
Nice.
We're having I think it's the anniversary for the White Rock.
Don't drink the water, because apparently they're fixing it with chlorine.
I saw that in the paper this morning.
I had some of the coffee from White Rock today. Woo!
Well, they used to have an aquifer that was really good, and then they sold it to somebody.
Was that a brand of bottled water?
No, that was actually their own well water.
Gotcha.
But, then they brought somebody else in to purify it because apparently it wasn't pure enough, and then we've had some problems ever since.
So I don't know. I live out White Rock, as you know, just like you do. I drink the water all the time.
Yeah.
Well, not today, but
no,
most of the time. So Bill Macklem is here. Bill is the president of Dominion Macklem Mortgages. You've got the mortgage weekly rate update for us right now.
Excellent. We have some great rates. Banks are, it's really odd, but the banks are dropping their five-year rates, close rates, which is really good for all our consumers. And so the rates used to be 2.99, then they dropped down to 2.89, then down to 2.79. We're now down to 2.69, and some are dropping them even lower than that. So we keep on looking. So when we do a pre-approval for you and we have a rate hold for you, if the rate, that's the ceiling. But if the rate drops, we go get that new rate for you so that it becomes a new ceiling. So if the rates go back up again, you still have that for a good 120 days.
So if they go up and you're down, you're good. If you go down and you're up, you're
still good.
You're still good.
Yeah.
That's good. Hey, Bill, good.
Good. In our next segment, Bill answers your mortgage question of the week. We examine the radio real estate news headlines, and we speak with Mark Jock, CEO of Marcroft Homes, about the new home building process and beginning with the land acquisitions.
You're listening to Vancouver's original on-air open house, radio real estate on CL 650.
CL 650. We get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
Well, it's the end of the month, and Bill, the sweater you have on today seems to have dollar bill signs all over it. Is that your tax sweater?
That's my tax sweater.
It's his tax sweater. Don't forget, midnight tonight's a deadline, right?
That's right.
And our show is green.
Didn't want to go there.
Okay.
All right, we have a question for Bill this week.
We do. Our question this week comes from Constance McLean out of North Surrey. Constance would like to know what she should consider when she's deciding on what lender to do business with.
Good question.
Well, that's a really good question. So what she's saying is that she's not going to be using a mortgage broker who would actually act as a conduit and as an advocate so that he would walk her through the maze of lenders that are out there. And so she should be looking at a bank that's going to have, or a credit union, that has someone that's going to be in position for longer than a month. Because if whatever mortgage broker program you do and your pre-approvals normally last you 3 to 4 months, depending whether it's a credit union or a bank. And if you have your pre-approval and then you don't find the place you want, so then you have to go back to the bank to get that redone again, you might find that you're dealing with a new person. Then you have to explain all this all over again. So that becomes a bit of a hassle, and we've had that complaint from a lot of our clients. But a lot of people don't realize that there is an alternative. So what she should know is that she should consider to go to a bank or a credit union that hangs on to their people that you're going to be meeting to do your mortgage of quite a long time. You're going to be there for a couple of years. So your question you should ask is that how long you've been here and how long you think you're going to be here. That's important. Secondly is that they want to know what the best rate is, and you'll be getting the best rate from that particular bank. Not necessarily the best rate that's out there, but what that bank can give you. So there are some, as you can tell, I'm kind of biased. I'm saying you should probably use a broker because you're going to have someone that's looking after your best interest. Because what most people don't realize is that the banks and credit unions aren't there to look after your best interest. They're there to make a profit so their head offices can pay their shareholders an increased shareholder price. So they're not there to look after your best interest. They are there to get you the mortgage that they think that you need based on what they have to offer.
Interesting.
Yeah. For expert mortgage information online, visit billymac.com. That's Billy with an I, not a Y, MAC.com, or call Bill at 604-684-4663. That's 604-684-HOME.
This is my house, my big, big house. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house, my big, big house. This is my house. This is my house.
I found out something really interesting this week, Bill. I found out that when Andrea was just a little girl, her dad, Mark, got the family together in the living room one day and recorded that song.
Really?
And that's actually you, Andrea, singing.
Wow.
What do you mean, is it?
I didn't know he
very
sounded so
good.
good on the...
Mark, you did a great job with the family there. A bunch of singers are doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, what talent?
I'm going to tell it. Hey, it was 1952 today, and back in 1952, we were both here. Mr. Potato Head was introduced on television. Remember Mr. Potato Head?
I loved
I remember as a kid, staring at the test. But you remember on the TV they had that Indian kind of
the whole test pattern.
Yeah, I remember staring at that for hours.
You too?
Yeah, that explains it all, Tom.
I just kept watching. I wanted it to move, and it never did.
No, it never did.
Wasn't that Pontiac? That was Pontiac, wasn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
So listen, Mark, you and I were having a coffee there this past week, and I said to you, listen, man, I know how to build a house. I take one piece of wood, I take another piece of wood, and I start to build. You said, that's great, Tom. Where are you going to put this house? I said, oh, yeah. You have to have a place to put it, right, Mark?
And, Tom and Andrea, that is the key to the whole building process. And we were talking about the building process. It all starts with your lot acquisition. Because if you don't have land, you're not going to be building on top of it, are you?
So how do I find this land, Mark?
Well, first of all, you get a good realtor, Andrea. And that good realtor is going to show probably a number of potential building sites for the customer. And we're dealing here again, Tom, with an infill position. So it's kind of get that older home and knock it down. But land is becoming so ridiculously expensive, and sometimes the knockdowns actually are very livable homes, but people just want to live in their neighborhood and they want to upgrade into a new home. So a couple of things that should be considered when you're looking at doing your due diligence to find a lot. You got to really be familiar with your zoning bylaws for that neighborhood. Check that out, because it's going to determine your setbacks. It's going to determine how big a home you're going to be building, your maximum area you're going to build on, and also the height. And there are height restrictions are becoming more and more prominent throughout the municipalities.
Mark, let me ask you a question. What comes first, the house or the lot? Do I go out and purchase the lot first, then and then build a house accordingly, or do I accordingly build the house and then find a lot?
That really is an excellent question, because we have a lot of people that come to us with a lot they've purchased, and they don't realize, maybe because of topographical challenges, just how expensive it is to get out of the ground. So I think it should be done in conjunction with your home designer and in conjunction with your builder of your choice. You get those people involved when you're looking for your lot selection. And in that due diligence period, Andrea, everybody has a little bit of a subject period when they're buying land. And those are the things that should be investigated. So you're going to be able to get some preliminary ideas on costing, what it's going to take to get out of the ground, and will that land or will that lot match up to kind of the home design that you're thinking in your mind.
Well, and that's the challenging part. So if you go out and get a home design just done, something that you like, but then all of a sudden you're going out and you find an upsloping lot, that's going to be totally different than a flat lot or downsloping. So that house that you've designed.
So Andrea, exactly. You don't want to go and buy. You really want to select a lot which is kind of according to your mindset of your design.
Well, I think if we go back to real estate, it's location, location, location. So if you find the place where you want to be, start there, and then design the home around the attributes of that lot. And
you guys are absolutely right. I certainly wouldn't want my family room open. The door to the family room back part of a mountain there.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're so right, Mark.
Yeah, and a lot of people. Some people want the home design where they have a clear walkout, from the lower levels. Some people like to be able to walk out directly from the main floor. So up sloping, down sloping grades will kind of determine home design.
Well, Mark, I think it's pretty obvious that before this whole process starts, the person should actually go see their realtor like Andrea and select the lot. And then from that point in time, after they find out what area they're going to buy in, then go to the designer and design something comparable to what they're going to do on that lot.
And then actually something we need to talk about coming up here in the next segment will be financing this build, because it's a different, whole different...
land financing, home construction.
It's completely different than just going out and getting your regular mortgage and buying a house. So that will be something that we'll all talk about coming up here in the next segments. For sure.
We'll all talk about that?
We'll talk about it.
Because I was feeling kind of left out of the conversation here. I mean, the three of you guys are having a wonderful talk, and I'm just thinking,
Are you? Did you want to say something?
Well, I was just wondering when Mark and the missus were going to have us over to eat.
We're waiting for the barbecue.
You know what, guys?
Yeah.
But I will encourage anybody who's looking for a lot selection or whatever, that they should really get their team involved in the early stage. If they do, they're going to make their lives a lot easier. So get an association going with a builder, and get a good association going with a home designer or architect.
All right. Now, if you have any more questions for Mark, give him a call over at Mark Craft Homes. What's your phone number there?
Mark Craft Homes?
Yes.
604-461-2560. or marcrafthomes.com.
And we'll listen for you on the radio. You betcha. You're going to be back with us next week, too. We're going to do some more chatting.
You bet.
All right. Have a wonderful May.
You also.
Okay. I'll talk to you next week, Mark. Thanks so much.
Righto.
Bye-bye. There's Mark. Mark Jock. He is the CEO of Marcraft Homes.
That's right.
Nice guy. He knows all about building.
He does.
Everything you need to know, right? Absolutely.
Coming up, we're going to chat about the real estate stories that made the headlines this past week. And we're going to speak with Norm Holmes, VP of Pioneer West, about some great TSFA opportunities.
This is Andrea Jock of Pinnacle Group Real Estate Marketing with our mortgage expert, Bill Macklem, president of Dominion Macklem Mortgages, producer Dwayne Bishop, and Tom Lucas. You're listening to Radio Real Estate Vancouver's original on-air open house on CL 650.
CL 650.
Seems to me when it comes to real estate, we talk about money and talk about riches quite a lot, huh?
We talk about a lot about money and a lot about how to get rich. Can I tell just a small story?
Sure.
So I have a client come in last night. We've done a mortgage for about 2.5 years ago. We were lucky to get her. It was a little tight deal, but the bank we put it with were quite cooperative, and we got the finance they needed for their home. I think it was about $300,000. They bought it in downtown Vancouver. Well, we always hear about these stories. This is a true story. A developer came along and wanted this entire property. So she bought it for about $300,000, I think it was. They offered them, and they sold it to them for $900,000 2 years later. And so now she's out looking for another property with a huge down payment.
She buying dinner tonight?
No, but they are great people, and we're going to help them get another property, but they're going to go from being a condo owner in Vancouver to probably a homeowner in like Langley, Aldergrove area.
Boy, they like to buy a couple of townhouses.
No, they want to own a house because they've got a little baby and they want to have a Cullimore.
I see.
And they want to have a yard for them. But just kind of give you an idea about money and how important money is.
Mm-hmm. But we've all had little babies in our life except for you.
Oh, one day.
Ooh, she got little bits.
I thought you were going to tell us a surprise.
No. Well, there's a guy out there. His name is Norm Holmes. He's the vice president of Pioneer West Acceptance Corporation. He's a dad. He's also, I think, a grandfather, too. So he's had his share of
Wow.
children. Yeah. He knows
He doesn't look
money.
that old.
No, he doesn't. But he does look good and green, just like you do. So let's talk about some money with Norm Holmes. Normie, what's going on?
Good afternoon, Tom. Many times in dealing with investors, I'm surprised to find out that they haven't taken advantage of TFSAs.
I guess I should ask at this point, Norm, what is a TSFA and what are the benefits to your investors?
TFSA is an acronym for Tax-Free Savings Account. As the name implies, the account earns interest or capital gain tax-free. The account is registered with your financial institution who follows the federal government rules regulating TFSAs. If an investor has never invested in TFSAs before, they can contribute up to $46,500.
Norm, what if the investor wants to withdraw funds from their TSFA account?
You can withdraw funds from your TFSA anytime, and you can also put the funds back in the following year once you receive confirmation from CRA of the eligible contribution amount.
I'm just wondering now, can people invest their TSFAs with Pioneer West?
They sure can. Both our mixed shares and direct mortgage investments are eligible investments for TFSAs. Pioneer West is an agent for financial institutions who provide excellent TFSA administration, and we have many investors earning tax-free returns in their TFSAs with Pioneer West Mortgage Investments.
Do you like white meat or dark?
I like white meat.
You sit beside me because I like the white meat too. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your listeners, Tom. This is Norm Holmes for Radio Real Estate.
Norm would have been here with us live today, but Norm was busy doing his taxes.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't blame him. That is time.
It's the deadline.
For more information, call Norm Holmes at 604-987-1420. That's 604-987-1420. That's almost like when Christopher Columbus discovered North America. Or visit pioneerwest.com. That's pioneerwest.com.
Thought you were going to bring it into a poem. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1942, or is it
1492.
1492.
Yeah, he was 70 years before.
19. You know what that sound means, right?
Absolutely.
Radio Real Estate News headlines time. I'm going to read. Just coming in, ladies and gentlemen, all the ships at sea. Incomes cannot keep up with the housing costs. That's what people are saying. A recent study found out that affordability in rentals in the region are terrible. They're dwindling, and more needs to be done.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've got another million people coming here by 2020. We need another 500,000 or 500,000 homes. If we're going to meet that demand, just for those new people coming into our region, we got to build 2,000 homes a month starting now.
Wow.
That's extra homes, not the homes we need for the people that are buying today, buying in the next
Well,
while.
and because of the supply and demand, people are charging more rents, and the people are. It's changed in the last 2 years.
Absolutely,
Even it's
and-
getting tougher and tougher for
I
families.
mean, you
so-
need to have better
Yeah.
planning so you have more homes, and we have to have a joint effort between municipalities, the province, and the feds. And there are some programs. We're going to talk about that later.
You said we have new people moving into the area by 2020. Do they have the dough to buy my house?
Yes, they do.
Okay, we'll talk.
I mean, if you're watching the last special shows in LA and in New York, they're selling a 2-bedroom loft for $13.2 million.
Okay, we'll talk after the show. Now, despite housing unaffordability and the dismal nightlife, and Andrea can attest to that, right? Pretty dismal around here.
so dismal.
She likes the nightlife. She likes the boogie. Anyway, apparently Vancouver is the best city in the Americas for millennials. Are you a millennial? I don't know. Are
I
you?
don't know. I think I'm getting a little old to be a millennial.
Yeah, I think you're getting old, yeah.
And probably to be having the nightlife
I think
too.
you're Generation X.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, she must be because she's having her warm milk at night now. You're going to bed at what, 8 o'clock at night?
About
But she has
9.
those homemade cookies.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right. Yeah, no, I think we are great. It is still a wonderful city for young people and the opportunities. I know lots of people that want to be in Vancouver. It has a great, name around it in terms of starting your business. We have lots of young entrepreneurs, I think.
Really?
They have good opportunities in Vancouver to start a business.
So this is the best city in America. So that's better than Brazil. That's better than Rio de Janeiro. That's
Maybe I'm
better
being
than
biased, but I think
Better than San Diego.
I like San Diego.
It's
I like San Diego, yeah.
Los
The nightlife
Angeles.
there, that was,
How was San Francisco,
right.
Chicago.
what was that street in San Diego? The what was it? The Lamplighter
This Lamplighter
It's the
District.
street of no return.
We need one of those here.
Of what?
The Lamplighter District.
No, we don't need
It's
a
an
lamplighter.
entertainment district because
Yeah,
they
it was
have
cool.
one center
It was
in
cool.
one city.
Yeah.
Okay, the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation says the housing market is improving, but still, we need to be aware of a little bit of a warning that's going on out there.
So what they're saying there is that because the 15% tax went on, that slowed down the market in November, December, January, and February, and a little bit of March.
Yeah.
And so their report is looking back, so they're seeing that. So prices start softening and prices start dropping. But what's happening is that the pent-up demand is now got a rebound effect, and all of a sudden the prices are going crazy again.
Yeah.
And we're starting to get multiple offers. We're starting to, we just don't have enough supply.
No, and the funny thing is, I actually saw this news headline a few months ago, and nothing's happened. Our prices have gone back up. I don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's so true what you say. When a recent study has been done, they're looking back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not looking forward.
They're not looking
So
for.
they're reflecting back in 1970, 72, 74. That's when they decided then in BC that we didn't have enough housing. And we've had a number of governments between then and now. And who has addressed it? I mean, I don't think anybody's addressed it.
Okay. Now, another recent report has come out. It says that we need more medium density projects for, well, let's say duplexes, courtyards, apartments, townhouses, blah, 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 blah.
So let me respond to this. I know I'm taking a little bit of the but bear with me on that one. So my background is economic development as well as mortgages. And so we look at communities and we try to figure out some ways of helping them develop. So when you look at anything that's being developed, for example, the shopping centers. You guys got some up in Shaughnessy. You guys got some up there off Lougheed. You got not the Costco, but the Home Depot up there. So they build these shopping centers. No underground parking. No high rises above it. So why, if you're going to build a shopping center, why wouldn't you have condos on top of it? If you look at Langley municipality, and you go up to Walnut Grove, you'll find that they have housing there. They have all the retail on the main. They have underground parking, and they have 3 floors of condos above it. But you don't see this as a consistent thing that goes on. Every time I talk to people about having underground parking, they say, oh, it's very expensive. They don't ask the question, how high up do you have to go to afford underground parking?
Bill, this reminds me of what my in-laws used to live in during the war back in Britain when they were kids. They had all the shops downstairs and all the people lived upstairs.
Yeah.
So what goes around comes around.
Well, you have to have built-in
True.
shoppers.
And I think also what they're talking about is with these families and people that live in Vancouver that want to stay in Vancouver by adding more of these type of developments. Yeah, they can take the compromise on living in a smaller space, but they still want to be in Vancouver in higher density.
But I'm not so sure we have to have smaller space. We just have to have better space.
Right.
Like look at Oak Ridge Mall. Why wouldn't you build up from that? And they have some plans for doing
They're
that.
starting to now.
Yes.
Yeah. In our next segment, Monica Dina Albriga, president of Mummy Maids, talks to us about an all-natural, made-at-home, environmentally friendly cleaning solution and a great way to keep your outdoor screens smelling fresh and looking new.
For more real estate information, coming right up on Vancouver's original on-air open house, keep listening.
You betcha. You just keep listening. Good morning. Hello there. Good day. Good evening. Hello there around the world. Nice to be with you. It's Tom Lucas with our co-host Andrea Jock of the Pinnacle Group Real Estate Marketing People. Bill Macklem, president of Dominion Macklem Mortgages. Our producer is Dwayne Bishop. And you're listening to Radio Real Estate on Smooth and Easy, CIL 650.
CIL 650.
The cleanup woman, 'cause she's tough. I mean, she really cleans up.
It's the weekend, and the cleanup woman is still out there cleaning up. She's our eco-friendly cleanup person. She is the founder and the president of Mummy Maids. Her name is Monica Dina Albriga. She's on the line now. Monica, hello there.
I'd like to speak to you about cleaning your outdoor screens. Not a fun job, but someone's got to do it. When you clean all your windows, don't forget those bug screens. They will collect dirt and cobwebs that will block your vision and stop your sun from shining in. You can clean screens outdoors or in a bathtub. Fill a large bucket with warm water and add an all-purpose non-ammonia household cleaner or even dish soap. Dip a scrub brush into the solution, scrub both sides of the screen, and then wash the screen frame with the same brush. Rinse the frame on both sides with clean water. Let the screen drip dry for a few minutes, then wipe it with a dry cloth. Stand it up to dry completely. When complete, replace in frame and enjoy the new vision of your beautiful spring views. This is Monica Dina Albriga for Radio Real Estate.
Mummy Maids will clean your castle with no hassle. Call Monica at 604-533-4959, 604-533-4959, or visit mummymaids.com. That's mummymaids.com.
It's the end of the month.
You know,
Isn't
the
it
year
strange?
is going fast.
What's happened?
We're past a third of the year
I
already.
can't believe it.
My goodness. How are things looking in real estate, by the way, in the Tri-Cities area with
Great.
you?
We're busy. You have lots of exciting things coming on the market.
I heard you talking earlier that you got a couple listings coming up.
Yeah, but I got to keep them on the down low for a little while longer.
Yeah.
But as soon as I can, I will let everyone
Give us
know.
a hint. Just
How
give us a
many,
hint.
how many you got coming?
Come on.
4 or 5, and these are some
or
exciting,
5, wow.
exciting properties. Like spectacular.
Wow.
You know
Yeah.
who's buying
So-
dinner soon, huh?
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Like, so how do you get those listings?
Well, in this area that we're talking about, it's because we've taken the time to really become the area specialists. These are our homes coming up in the Belcara area, and that's where we're dealing with oceanfront properties, private docks. We're talking about septic and well systems, but it's really understanding, the whole nature of that area and how to sell oceanfront.
So how do they
properties.
recognize that you actually are that specialist for that area and you actually know
Because we
these
have-
things you're talking about?
Well, I work with my business partner, Chris, and we have 9 out of the last 12 sales over the last few years. So we've been actively visiting every homeowner, talking to the city. Chris has a great relationship with everyone at the city. We understand, there's a lot involved with selling these types of properties. In
Oh, I
terms,
would imagine.
yeah, and we're talking about there's easements and government road right-of-ways. Like there's a ton that you have to really understand Belcara. And I think a lot of realtors, are intimidated by how much you need to know in order to sell the homes in this area. So it's not just something we've learned overnight. We've been actively working that area over 3-4 years. Actually, I'm going on to close 7 years specializing in the area. So, yeah, I think a lot of realtors choose an area that they really want to be the best at and really know the knowledge. And we can sell in other areas as well, but it really helps when you're listing properties to know what you have to deal with in terms
And it's a different type of clientele.
well, yeah,
too, right?
and you're dealing with highway encroachment agreements. You're dealing with waterfront properties. There's lots, to take into consideration. So
what's the type of client that would come in you'd be talking to?
there's all different types of price points, but
For the one that you're looking at right now, like what kind of client would be looking at those homes?
we're looking at people either coming from West or North Vancouver, international home buyers. We actually had someone come from the States that are buying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how do you get in touch with them?
They come to us. through our marketing, online marketing.
Oh,
so
okay.
if they're looking in the area, we have a lot of resources through marketing our high-end properties online.
So if somebody would like to get a hold of you through your website, where do they go?
They can go to Andrea Jock. They can go to pinnaclegrouprealestatemarketing.com. That's pinnaclegrouprealestatemarketing.com.
And I know in this day and age you don't like to give phone numbers, but if somebody wants to give you a call in the old-fashioned way and have a chat,
Sure, yeah. They can call my cell at 604-783-3124. That's 604-783-3124.
Now, Bill, before somebody goes to see Andrea, they figure I should go see my mortgage guy, Bill Macklem. How do they get a hold of you?
They want to give me a call at 604-684-4663. That's 604-684-HOME. What people have to realize is that I have a team of people that will have over 100 years of experience. And so they've all been ex-bankers. And so that's my team. And so even if I'm not there, we have people that can answer the questions. And that's why I have the team. So when I'm doing the radio show, not so much on Sundays, because obviously the office is not open on Sundays, but we do have a referral or a call forwarding system. But if the call is during the week and I'm not around, there's somebody else to answer the question.
You say they have over 100 years? Nobody in your office looks over 50 to me.
Well, yeah, but if I put all four of them together, plus add my 30 years.
I got you. Never mind. What's coming up at the next segment of the show, Willie?
So we're going to be talking about compliance, rules, accountability.
You know, I've always hated that kind of stuff all my life.
This is Andrea Jock of Pinnacle Group Real Estate Marketing with Bill Macklem, president of Dominion Macklem Mortgages, producer Dwayne Bishop, and Tom Lucas. You're listening to Vancouver's original on-air open house, the Radio Real Estate Show on CL 650.
CL 650.
We've been doing the show now for years and years and years, and I'm still confused. Do I go see the realtor first, or do I go see the mortgage broker first? Does it matter? Does it make a difference? What do you guys think?
Oh, it matters. You
It does.
need to see Bill.
So I need to know. I need to know how much money I have first of all before I call you, right?
100%.
So I go see Bill. Bill sits me down, gives me a cup of coffee,
Yep.
and then you
Grandma
take some.
cookies.
Then you take some blood
And grandma cookies.
and grandma cookies, and then you ask me all these personal questions, and I.
And I ask you a lot of questions.
You do.
I'll ask you things that you didn't think you'd ever have to share with anybody.
But they're important things.
Absolutely. The way the bank's structure is working today, if you don't give them all the information, they will not give you an approval.
All right, we touched about this briefly on the show you did with Andrew just a second ago, but why would people go see a mortgage broker instead of just go and see their banker?
You know, that's a good question, Tom.
To each their own, I suppose. But
Well, so I became a broker in 87. And the only reason why I became a broker is that nobody else would hire me in Alberta. So I had my financial calculator. And so I thought, the guy said, why don't you become a mortgage broker? I said, I'm sorry, but I don't know what a mortgage broker is. He said, well, you know how to use a financial calculator. We calculate mortgage accounting, and we show people how to qualify for mortgages. I said, okay, good. So I became a mortgage broker, and I got pretty good at it. So what happens is that when I became a mortgage broker and I saw what they did, my own question was, why wouldn't everybody use a mortgage broker?
Well, exactly.
They represent all the banks. They represent all the trust companies. They drive you through mentally, not physically, but mentally. They drive you through the maze of lenders, try to find you the best deal possible. And so you kind of look at all this and say, and they get paid by the banks.
Well, it makes sense to me because Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you go into a bank, you have to deal with that, say, for example, RBC or TD, whatever their rules and regulations are, you only have that one option.
Absolutely.
And with a broker, I understand you have all these options.
We have all those options, and it's not always about rate.
No.
You know, so because most people have never seen $500,000 sitting on a desk, the only thing they can actually relate to is how much is the interest rate on my mortgage. That's the only thing I can hang on to because I heard they're really low.
How big of a pile would that be?
It'd be a huge pile, especially in ones.
Anyway.
Of course, we don't have ones anymore. We don't even have twos anymore.
Can we have
I'd be in
loonies?
fives.
Can we have loonies?
Well, with loonies, you're going to have a metal desk then because it's going to be strong.
I see.
So most people don't understand what that money looks like. So the only thing that they can hang their hat on in terms of discerning the benefit of one bank over another is what's the rate?
Right.
That's the last thing you worry about.
There's so many other terms and conditions and things to...
Portability, qualifications.
about
Is this
penalty?
the best penalties? Is this the best product for me? Should I be taking this? I mean, we don't get paid on rate, so I'm always after the best rate. But that's not the most critical. Most critical is a relationship that we're going to set up with the client and with a lender so that they're looked after not only today, but 5 years and 10 years from today. It's a long-term relationship. It's not like going in and buying a candy bar and make sure you get the best price of the candy bar. Once it's eaten, it's gone. This mortgage is going to last you probably 25 to 30 years.
What do you do, Bill, if somebody from the old school says, I would go to a CMO mortgage broker, but I really can't afford it?
We get a number of that.
Do you really still?
Yeah, they say, well, I've never actually been here before. So as you know, we've got a nice office because you want to show that you're a professional. We have our TD Bank chairs. We have 2 TD chairs in
And
there.
they would like those chairs back, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding. So we had them made because we do a lot of business with TD Bank, and it's comfortable. We have a couple TVs, and we make it homey. Like it's very comfortable. People come there and they said, I didn't know. They're expecting you working out of the back end of a car or a van or something, and it's more professional than that. Plus, I have my team. And most people don't realize that you have to have a team. You're going to do any kind of volume, do any kind of business, so the lenders want your business to come to them because we are a conduit of business to the banks. Because ultimately, you're dealing with a bank anyways. It's not as if I'm putting you with some private lender for the most part. I'm putting you with a bank or credit union that you'll either recognize or know about. And so therefore, it's not as if I'm setting you up with some Mark the... Well,
no
not Mark. I can't use Mark, but I use some fellow that is as a private lender. What I'm doing is we're going public lending.
Right.
So to answer my question is, it probably doesn't cost you anything to use a mortgage broker.
Doesn't cost you anything.
Okay.
And it's relaxing.
Oh, well, I know. I sit in the chair and I have my coffee.
Well, we have a few people cry.
I want your opinion on this one. And we're going to go back. We're going to take a look at the results of some polls. I know the polls were yesterday's news, but hey, that's what the show's all about. Yesterday's news. Here are the results of a poll.
A CIBC poll found that 81% of millennial homeowners are trying to sell.
I don't think people in my generation can really afford a house right now.
And the numbers sadly appear to back it up. A CIBC study found that of the millennial property owners, those aged 18 to 34 who now plan to sell, 63% say mortgage and housing costs are making them cash poor. 57% fret that rising interest rates will make it harder for them to meet their mortgage payments. 36% say renting is the better option.
I have no friends who have to pay for maintenance fees for when things like start breaking. That always comes up.
Yeah, some millennials, they actually have buyer's remorse. They're finding that they're cash strapped because they didn't really think about what they could afford before they made the decision to buy a home.
We also saw Stats Canada get some extra money. They're going to start tabulating and keeping track of who specifically is buying and or selling real estate in the Canadian market. This has been such a focal point about how should you affect the real estate segment with either tax or policy. How best to do that? Well, we don't really have empirical data about that. So Stats Canada getting some money to help with that. Also, the Canada Savings Bond going away after being around since 1946 because it pays too low of an interest rate and there's lots of other investment alternatives out there.
All right. Now, other than the Canada Savings Bond, Bill, I saw you smiling. Where would you like to start?
Well, if you're gonna save money for a down payment,
Sure.
let's just start off with there.
Absolutely.
And you're in for the long haul, and you don't think you're going to buy this year, but you can put money into your like Norm said, you put money into a tax-free savings account, and you would invest it with a MIC fund, Mortgage Investment Corporation, like Norm's. You're going to get about a 7% interest return, and so most people don't realize it, but there is a law called the Law of 72. So if you had a 7% interest rate on your return, you divide that into 72, and you find out it'll take 10 years for that 7% interest money to double. So that's very interesting. So if you're a younger person, maybe 17, 18, 19, you could buy a tax-free savings account, put the money in there, let it run, let it roll, and when you're 25, 26, 27, the money's doubled itself, it's tax-free, and you can use that money for a down payment. When they talk about millennials selling their houses, I hate to be critical, but I find a lot of people in that 18 to 34 age bracket are more entitled than other people are to do things. And so when they buy their home, they think they're entitled to have all the shiny stuff and the big screen TV and maintain the lifestyle they've always wanted to have. And then all of a sudden, this is like a shock of reality. Like, you aren't entitled to everything. You actually have to work for it. And so what happens sometimes is that they're pushing the lenders or the brokers into going into a property that probably they shouldn't be buying because they have a different opinion of where they think they should be as opposed to where we think they should be.
Now, Andrea, you work with these people all day long, each and every day. What are you finding out?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the reality of home owning for the millennials, I've got a first-time home buyer that just bought, and she kind of stretched herself to get into the market, but she was very cautious with her numbers, so I was impressed with her. I'm finding they are careful. You know, the couples that I'm working with want to make sure, okay, well, now I'm buying my first $800,000 home. And one couple was offered a trip to Vegas, and they actually had to tell their friends, like, no, I'm sorry, I can't go because now I'm a homeowner and I've got to save every penny to pay for this home. So we're seeing the balance of lifestyle and home ownership. You know, people want to own because they see the long-term benefits, but it's that little bit of pain as you're younger to say no to a few things. You know, spending that money out of the restaurant or buying $4 coffees, Starbucks or coffees every morning. You know, you've got to start saving and looking at where you're spending. And ultimately, if your goal is it's a smart thing to do, is be a homeowner. You'll thank yourself 10 years later.
Well, the clients that we deal with, I'd have to totally agree with you. I was just commenting on that audio clip on what they're thinking.
Well, some for sure aren't thinking that way, and I agree with you. But fortunately, the clients I'm working with are careful.
The client I was talking about that made the money on that condo, they're a millennial. They're now, because they did the right thing at that time, and we're very frugal, are now got this benefit of this huge windfall.
I think that's great. And, you know, more people need to be like that. But there are people out there, it's a shock to their system, probably going, you know, I've got this house and now I'm stuck in it, and they feel, you know, cash poor, you know, and they're in a house.
Cheaper living with mom and dad.
Probably. And they want to have that lifestyle. And what is it? YOLO. You only live once. So they want to go and travel and do things. So it's really, it all depends, I guess, on the values of that individual and what's important. But, you know, that YOLO attitude, 10 years from now, the people that actually took the time and maybe saved a bit, they're probably going to be living a much more relaxed life.
I thought that was BOGO. Buy one, get one free. No?
YOLO, what is it? Young, what is it? You only live once. Young only once.
You only live once. Time now on the Radio Real Estate Show to play Guess What City. Are you kids ready?
Sure.
Yeah! Okay, everybody speak at once. Guess what city is number one in the world when it comes to real estate? Bill, what do you think?
Oh, Vancouver.
Oh, good answer. You took my answer.
You want to say Vancouver?
I was going to say Vancouver.
I say you're both wrong.
I was going to say New York.
Toronto, number one in the world when it comes to real estate, and it's not necessarily a good thing. A study out of Australia puts Toronto as the fastest price appreciation in real estate year over year compared to any other major metropolitan center. The numbers indicating that on average, Toronto real estate is up 19% year over year, ahead of Sydney, Australia, Melbourne, New York City, Tokyo. The GTA has seen prices rise exponentially. So, of course, this fuels talk of a bubble, and still the underpinnings of the market are the main issue, with too little supply, too much demand, still record low interest rates making things somewhat affordable, and an improving job market, which means people still actually have some money to buy higher priced properties.
Means we'll be having more Torontonians moving out here to the West Coast soon.
Possibly. Possibly. I think you're going to see a lot of new Canadians. And I don't mean the new ones that have been in the last 2 years, but new Canadians have been here the last 20, 30 years. Those families have children that are starting to buy, and those people are going to buy here.
I think so.
And we're going to see a real steady growth in the Vancouver market.
Money, 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 money.
It's the Radio Real Estate Show. We talk about real estate. We talk about mortgages. We talk about money. Here's our money man on the show, Mr. Bill Macklem. Congratulations, Billy. 16th in the whole nation.
Yeah, we were very fortunate.
You guys are good.
We are blessed. We've been blessed for a long time. Obviously, you know, we always work hard. But you know what? I know a lot of people that work hard that are not quite as blessed as we are.
Mm-hmm.
So we're number 16 in the country out of the mortgage brokers in the Dominion system. And so we're very proud of that.
Yeah.
We used to be number one, but they got some other fellas that did more volume with us in Toronto and the Edmonton area. So
yeah, but your mom hadn't been making the cookies yet. You just wait.
No, that'll help us a lot.
So congratulations to all your staff. Good stuff.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you're going to talk about compliance?
Compliance. So, excuse me. Every 2 years I have in my license as a mortgage broker, I have to be educated. So take some educational courses to make sure that I'm current and up to date with what's going on. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
The FICOM, which is our governing body, wants to make sure that because we're so knowledgeable in the industry and consumers are not, that we want to make sure that they want to make sure that we are complying to make sure that we don't take advantage of that situation. And so we have a bunch of steps and disclosure statements to ensure that. So we have to be aware of that and stay on top of that. So it's a really good system, and I applaud it, and I think it should be there. The problem I got is not with what we do as an industry. The problem I got is I'm looking at the things that go on in our municipalities, and where's their accountability? I mean, there's a Cloverleaf built in South Delta, South Surrey area that somebody built that the off-ramps that are coming in are actually flat. So there's semis losing their loads 2 to 3 times a week flipping over, causing traffic disaster. So now you have to have the police there. You have to have some. So what that means, I know we're going to have an ICBC claim. So here we are paying taxes to a municipality to do the right thing that causes problems, which then increases our ICBC costs because they did it improperly. And nobody's accountable because, you know, we all hands up, well, we built that. That's not a problem.
Maybe, Bill, think about this. You just give me an idea. Maybe it's like planned obsolescence. Maybe they do it on purpose.
So they have another job.
Exactly.
Because they're going to have to demolish this thing and rebuild it.
Exactly.
So that's the way it goes.
Get expert mortgage information online by visiting BillyMac.com. That's Billy with an I, not a Y, MAC.com, or by calling Bill at 604-684-4663. That's 604-684-HOME.
Thank you, Andrea. The next segment of the program, we'll hear from our radio real estate home handyman, Finn Jensen. Finn says the cost of real estate in the West Coast here is awfully interesting. Billy?
This is Bill Macklem, President of Dominion Macklem Mortgages, with Andrea Jock, a Pinnacle Group Real Estate Marketing. Our illustrious producer, Dwayne The Rock Bishop. And, of course, our likable Tom Lucas. You're listening to Radio Real Estate on CL 650.
CL 650.
I'm fixing a hole where the rain gets in and stops my mind from wandering. I'm feeling the cracks that ran through the door and kept my mind from wandering.
You would think that today of all days that Finn would come down off the roof and forget fixing the roof so the rain doesn't. Just do your income taxes, man.
Get them done.
Get them done by midnight tonight.
What is it? 19% charge monthly
if you
or
owe.
late filing?
If you owe.
Yeah, if you owe.
If you owe them, you pay. If they owe you,
you get nothing.
You wait. Finn, what's going on, my friend?
Good afternoon, Tom, and good afternoon, everyone. Today's real estate isn't becoming more affordable or affordable enough. A little of this despair is self-inflicted by the point of view that sometimes buyers desire more home than necessary. Sure, more is nice, but less lowers the price point and often enough to open the door to one's own home. To be an owner requires that people to first get in the game, a lot like in a casino. Not everyone can afford to play the expensive games, at least not right away, and many big winners started playing the cheaper games and then moved up to the higher priced ones with bigger payoffs. Getting into real estate is not exactly like that, but the idea of starting out small is helpful. By deciding on something less expensive may not be as exciting, but in time it could generate interesting returns, which are useful when buying another home, financing a business, or some other that will raise your stake. The main point should be to get in. This is Finn Jensen for Radio Real Estate. Talk to you next week.
For your spring maintenance, call Gentech Mechanical Installations 778-378-2740. That's 778-378-2740. And ask to speak with Finn.
And Finn will be delighted to chat with you as soon as he's done his darn income taxes.
Exactly.
Today's the last day. We remind you again at midnight tonight, right?
Midnight tonight.
All right. And let me see those 5 houses. Do I have to put that down too?
You do.
Oh, darn. Andrea, can you help me with my income taxes after the show today?
I got to finish mine.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's done their income tax. Bill?
Yep.
Oh,
done.
Bill, of course, Bill's goody two-shoes around here. He's done his income tax. Darn it. So what do you have for sale today?
Yeah, well, like I mentioned, I've got some exciting listings coming on the market here over the next few weeks. One, I can't disclose addresses yet, but I can give a little sneak peek on one.
Mm-hmm.
This one, is a beautiful home that offers, I'd say, more of an executive style living because it has the master featured on the same level as the kitchen, which is nice, and then 2 bedrooms below. So if you have older children, they have their own space, or if you have in-laws that want to have their own space downstairs. And the exciting feature about this pool, this house, is you walk out to a spectacular poolside area.
Ooh.
Yeah, beautiful stamped concrete overlooking Peekaboo, ocean views. You can take your kayak, just bring it right across the street, head over to Deep Cove for the day. Yeah, it's.
I've actually.
Have you put an offer in on the house?
I know I've kayaked at Deep Cove right
Have
there.
you?
This is a perfect house. If you're thinking of selling your home, say Coquitlam, Tri-Cities, and you're looking for that more vacation retirement lifestyle, this house is perfect.
Somebody wants to find out some more information. What do they do?
They can give me a call, 604-783-3124, 604-783-3124.
Our house in the middle of our street.
Now, before you call Andrea, and you probably think to yourself, gee whiz, I could use a few extra bucks. I should call Bill Macklem. Billy?
Number here is 604-684-4663. 604-684-HOME.
Now, I know you have a couple of wonderful websites.
We do. We have BillyMac.com.
Billy with an I, not a Y.
Billy with an I, not a Y. And we also have Bill M at MacklemMortgage.com.
All right. Now, which one would be better for me to go to as a novice?
Billy Mac.
BillyMac.com. Okay. You'll be here next week?
I will be here next week.
Okay.
The bell's on.
Andrea will be here?
I will be here.
I'll be here, too, if I'm not in tax evasion court.
Well, it'll take them a little while to track you down.
You think so? I hope it's longer than...
Longer than a week.
Call me in a week. And if we're lucky, I'll be on the radio tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Have yourself a wonderful Sunday. It's Tom Lucas on behalf of Andrea and Bill and our friend Dwayne. Thank you. Bye.